Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Richmond Guides Travel Talks. This is episode one, The Joys of Travel. We are going to be talking about all things of travel and what can bring you joy when you do travel, either by yourself, family, friends, kind of up to you on however you want to do it. Originally, I just read a script about this, but then I realized that in a podcast, it's kind of more conversational. But I am going to be looking down from time to time because I have some notes to make sure that I am talking about what I want to deal with here on the first episode. Speaking of starting the first episode, if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so that you can get these episodes every single week. We're going to be releasing them on Mondays. I know that it is a little bit of a wonky schedule, and with getting into the holiday season, and with me being a high school teacher, schedule's a little bit funky per se. But anywho, so um, let's go ahead and take a look at the joys of travel. I have three main things that I believe are the primary focus with the joys of travel. One is to travel because of the location. Two is to travel because of learning. And then the third one is going to be traveling because of family. And we're going to take a little bit of a dive into each of these. I'm going to share a few personal stories, but we'll get to that. Let's go ahead and talk about the first one, which is a reason to travel for the location itself. Whether the location be a theme park you want to visit, a city that is far flung. Sometimes it's something that is just you want to go somewhere else. The monotony of what you get from being at home or being at a regular workplace can be monotonous. And I can tell you for a fact, for me, I work to travel. That's what I do. I love traveling, and I get to see many, many new places. It can range from places like Paris, London, even as far as Turkey, across the United States, out to California, Alaska, up into the Northeast, up into Canada, down across the whole Caribbean. But you name it, you pick it. If you want to go somewhere, you can go visit there. You could be based off of the culture in the area. That would be something a little bit later we'll talk again about, or it could be about the infrastructure. You could go to Rome, you could see the Colosseum, you could see the aqueducts, the ancient Roman structures that are still lasting for many, 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 many centuries, and thousands of years, in fact, at that. Or you can go and visit because it's a travel hub. Like people come here to Orlando and they want to visit the theme parks. You go to visit Disney, you get to visit Universal. Some people go and visit SeaWorld. You can even travel down to Tampa and visit Busch Gardens. You can even go and see like Williamsburg, one of the most beautiful cities out there, uh, and visit theme parks there. Or you can visit the colonial aspect and do a little bit of education, which education we'll get to in a little bit on the next segment, as I mentioned before. And taking a look, getting away from location. Sometimes you just travel because you want to visit someplace that you've been before. Now, recently I took a 3 night cruise to two places I've been quite a bit. Uh, One more say than the other. You can travel on a short 3 night cruise out of the east side of Florida, and you can visit Nassau. And sometimes, depending on what company you go with, Castaway Key with Disney, or you could visit the private island of Royal Caribbean, which is Coco Cay. Perfect day at Coco Cay. Recently traveled to there, even though I've been there many times. Still went, saw something new for both of them, and it's pretty cool to see anything that changes over the time. So whether you've been to some place before or someplace new, definitely a joy of travel can be the location itself. Shifting gears, we mentioned a couple times already about education. Sometimes you want to travel somewhere and you want to learn, you want to be there with the people, the history, the culture. And I know one of the things when I was traveling out to Europe quite a few number of years ago was learning about the different cultures in the Baltic states. That was one of the big things in 2010 when my family took a cruise. We had the one opportunity to go visit Russia, and we were able to see the Hermitage. We were able to see quite a few number of other locations inside St. Petersburg, Russia, which is very hard to get into now. But I'm grateful to have the opportunity of having 2 days in there and do educational tours of that. Even at other locations too, like you can just have just basic tours. Another trip that I had in 2007, and we went back again to Rome in 2014. We got to see the Vatican. First time in '07, we got to see Pope's cars. We got to see the Sistine Chapel. But we went back again to learn a little bit more because we got to see the catacombs underneath the Vatican, which that was pretty cool in of itself. Um, so you can go to learn the culture, you can go and learn about the history. Uh, I still want to travel to some places like China or Japan and learn about their culture and get to just be there in the environment. I know we got Epcot, which you can see some of the culture, a little bit of it. It's a taste, but it's not the same as actually being there. Like going to Tokyo, going to Beijing, going to Shanghai, or even going to Nagasaki over in Japan. So, all right, just I'm ready to go and learn, and that can be one of the joys that you can find on your next trip with, oh, that's the next part, your friends or family. That's your choice. You can travel by yourself. I know I've had fun on a couple trips where I traveled by myself. For those of you that were watching back in 2018, I took a trip across the United States and I wanted to just enjoy the time by myself. It was kind of a rough previous year, but I've been growing ever since. But on that trip, I learned one huge thing, and that I find a lot more joy in traveling with my family. My family brings out just another level of the trips that can happen. Uh, like I want to share with you guys, if you do happen to travel, have a chance to go with your family. Even though you can go on your own, it's going to be a lot cheaper. It's sometimes, funny enough, per person, it's cheaper if you have more people. I know, right? It just it can make sense, but sometimes it's a little bit on the confusing side. And what I love about it, the bigger part is that you can talk to other people and see what they want to do and see the joy that's in their eyes for whenever they do travel. And I know for me, watching the rest of my family, it brings joy. Like even on this last cruise with my dad and I, it's just the two of us, we had a lot of fun together. And to just have the two of us, like seeing him relax, enjoy himself, uh, made me a little bit more calm and just enjoying the cruise. And you'll get to see some of that cruise coming up, but we'll get to that in another. Things like going on, we got a future 8 night cruise coming up, and we've got our family's going on it. My parents, my sister, her husband, and then one of our family friends going with me. And we're gonna have a bunch of different things we're going to do. We're going to be enjoying time together. We'll split up from time to time, but generally speaking, we're going to be having a good time together, all of us. We're going to be doing short excursions together. We're going to have dinner together sometimes. And you'll be able to have conversations rather than just sitting there. And for some people, they're just going, they just scroll through their social media if you're traveling by yourself. And it can sound depressing, but sometimes you just need time away. Sometimes you need time with your family, which my recommendation is to travel with family as much as you can. Because you only get one life and you only get so much time to spend with them. So why don't you travel with them overall, right? To each their own. My recommendations with joy, I find it that way. I find joy in choosing the location. I find joy in choosing the educational aspect of it. I find joy in family. Whether you do it for any of those reasons or for any other reasons, I want you guys to share with me what can bring you joy whenever you travel. Is it one of the 3 reasons I gave? Family, education, location? Or is it something different? If it's something different, share it in the comments, share it in the ratings, share it. And make sure you tag hashtag Richmond Guides or at Richmond Guides, because I definitely want to read it. I want to see it. And I want to be able to just look at what can be done in the future. But for this video, that's just short. This podcast is going to be a little bit on the short side. It's our first episode. I'm obviously, if you haven't figured out, I am a little on the nervous side, which I'm gonna be frank about it. I do love it. And it's something new. It's something that I'm wanting to share with you all. And I can't wait for what's to come. And just, just yeah, I'm so excited for what's to come. But make sure that you guys check out the YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you check out the podcast. Right now, we've got it on Spotify and we've got it on Podcaster, a Podcastle, and we also have an iHeartRadio. I'm working on getting onto Apple Podcasts. It's a little bit of a hiccup right there, but soon enough we'll be on there. But the next episode will be an overall review of the Allure of the Seas. I was able to spend 3 nights on it. Got another couple cruises coming up with it. So keep your eyes and ears out. We will see what's going to be coming up. We'll be having some top tens about food, top tens about things to do, and just tons of different things for what you can do coming up. We'll also go into some planning. I've done some vacation planning for a few people already. Got a few cruises booked for them. Looking at other travel trips that they can do, maybe going to the theme parks, staying at the resorts, anything like that. But as I mentioned, that's all I got for you today, guys. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Go ahead and give us a rating, give us a thumbs up. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next adventure.